flatbacks. All right. So I know that this is going to cause for conversation, and I'm here for it because the one thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that we push the culture forward. All right. We got to push the culture forward. And so a lot of people in the chat are trying to understand what is a flatback. A flatback is a woman that tends not to have as many curves in the back as we're used to. I'm going to put it lightly. And the reason that I'm putting it that way is because um, on the Q show last night, I know that there was some people in the chat and maybe even on the panel that wanted me to go after Miss Sanchez. I think that was her name, Miss Sanchez Erica, that was on the panel yesterday. But I couldn't find myself doing that. I just couldn't do it. And the reason that I couldn't do it is because she wasn't disrespectful. And I know people just want me to go in on women. And I think that it's a way that you can have conversations or even hold people accountable without being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. The women that are on that show, which Q does a phenomenal job of finding and picking them and vetting through who should be on and who shouldn't, do a really great job of being able to communicate. We have passionate debates and discussions, but they aren't disrespectful. So you're not going to see me call them out of their name. You're not going to see me go at them. And it's very difficult for me to hold them accountable publicly on a platform like that and have that conversation by telling them the truth, even when they're asking for it, because I know they're not really ready for that type of conversation, right? But it's similar to this right here. And we talking about Japanese culture because I was out and about yesterday, right? And me being out and about, um, I was in Akihabara. Is it Akihabara? And so I was in the streets and we did a lot of things and we went to the ramen places and we went to the backdoor places and bubble teas and all of that stuff, right? And so we over in Japan and we walking around and we having a good time. And so I know that anime and the different things that's important to people is a thing over in the United States also. All of the women look just like this chick right here. A lot of the women that was standing around, walking around, um, they look like an anime girl. It's grown women that's walking around and they look like a cartoon character. Now, me personally, I have never gotten into it. I don't understand the fascination with it. This is me actually walking around in the streets and we were out and about. Japanese culture is also very much immersed in gaming, even to the point to where it's gambling. Borderline gambling. They have a very huge poker culture. They have a very huge gaming culture. They got a huge anime culture. It's interesting. So this is me walking around in some of the different parts of Japan, and this is what I want to express to y'all as I'm having these conversations throughout the show. So I'm walking around, and they got a lot of these vending machines, and a lot of the machines where they come in, and you got to try to have the little hand come in and they grab the thing and they bring it out and all of that stuff, similar to this right here. And you can see the worker putting another one out there, and so the money, the currency, all of this stuff in there. They got a huge Pokemon culture. It's interesting. And so this is me walking down the street. And if you look over on the right hand side sometimes, every once in a while, not on this particular walk, but when I was going the other way down the other street, a lot of the women that are standing over to the side and they advertise in the different businesses and stuff like that. This is me inside of one of the little gaming places. I have no idea what type of game it was. I was very, very fascinated with the fact that it was almost all men in there and they was just publicly gaming. They leave their house, they go out and they sit at these machines and they game all day. They have a huge electronic scene. It is a lot of visitors. Again, I did not see any. I mean, on this day in particular, I don't think that I see one black woman. No, I take that back. I did see one black woman. I seen one black woman that was not my family, and she wound up being able. She was walking by herself, so I seen one black woman. But as you can see, almost every single person there is Asian, and then you have some dots of white people or Italian people or people that are traveling from somewhere else, and you can tell that they're not inherently from there because of the way that they talk and all of this stuff, right? But it is a interesting dynamic, experiencing eating the food. You can see a guy with the blonde wig, all of the women. This is a girl right here that's posing for the gram essentially, or whatever their social media is. I'm assuming that they on the same type of social media, or they got the same type of platforms and stuff that we do. But she was over there posing for the gram, for whatever it is. I'm gonna just say for the gram. Um, and if you see right there on the left hand side, a lot of the women dress just like this. They have um, this Japanese culture where a lot of it is just anime inspired, and they got these little dresses on, and sometimes they make their eyes bigger and they have their ears more pointy, and they look like characters. You see the guy right there, that dude is tall as hell and he dressed like an anime, right? And so it's a very interesting culture. But here's the question that I have for you guys. As I walk around and I see these different women, and I'm paying attention to certain things or whatever like that. Here's the question that I have for you guys. Shout out to We Call BS. Um, I'm gonna answer that super chat shortly, and I'm gonna be reading super chats throughout the show. They say it's cosplay. Okay. And no, they all across, like, all different types of businesses. They walking down the street with this stuff on. When we was walking down Takeda Street, I forgot what it was. It was this one store that was just like focused on cosplay and anime, and that store was booming. I mean, it was absolutely booming. Even my nephews, like, they like it. They like the different cartoons and all of that other type of stuff, right? And I thought that that was interesting because I'm not into it, but I understand that it's a lot of people into it, so it's a big thing here. It's the culture. But here's my question, right? Here's my question. Um, Being over here for a few days now, because I've been here since Saturday, right? Being over here for a few days now, and it's Tuesday. I don't see any women that are bigger than. I mean, it's you be hard pressed. First of all, there is no women that are overly obese. I have not seen one woman. I've seen one homeless guy since Saturday. And I've been out and about and touring and going into the back spaces and everything like that. I seen one guy that looked like he was homeless, because he was just sitting and he looked a little bit depressed or whatever. But other than that, I haven't seen any homelessness. I haven't seen any morbidly obese women. You can see all of their collarbones. I haven't seen any butterfly eyelashes or huge exaggerations in the body. It doesn't seem as though they're impressed with the look of Western women. And so the question that I have is, because this is their norm, and I guess when you immerse in a culture for so long, you start to, understand that this is their norm. We got this thing where we say that, people are big boned. They big boned. They're naturally big. Everything is exaggerated. We want our women to look like a more exaggerated version of Betty Boop. I got two questions. My first question is to the fellas, to the men, because I know that it's a big thing about women being natural, but we don't have a really big conversation about women being thin. And I don't know if it's the food. I don't know if it's the culture. I don't know if it's laziness. I don't know if we've not embracing walking around as much. I don't know what it is. It could be a combination of all of it. It could be what it is that we've normalized within our cultures, whatever, right? Because it's not just black culture, it's Western culture. To the fellas, would you prefer to have a woman that is bigger, heavier, but more curvy? Or would you rather have a woman that's more polite, feminine, smaller, and a flat back? Would you rather have a woman that is bigger, curvier, or would you rather have a woman that is smaller and flat back? And it's no in between. It's no in between. I need my fellas in the chat to say curvy, bigger, They'd rather have them bigger and curvy, or you'd rather have them smaller and flat back. Let me know in the chat what y'all would prefer to have, because I'm seeing something that's completely different than what our cultural norm is. Smaller, flat back, bigger, curvier. Smaller, flat back, bigger, curvier. Now, y'all know that when these women are a little bit bigger, we're just going to say a little bit bigger. Y'all say obese and feminine. Flat back, curves, flat back, curvy, curvy all day. Option two, I see it. I see more people saying flat back than curvy. I see more people that saying flat backs than curvy. Flat back all day. Come on, flat back. You coming with me? Curvy, flat curves, flat tires, flat backs. I see a lot of guys in the chat that's saying that they would rather have a flat back than a bigger woman. No flat back curves. Give me flat back, curvy, flat back all day. Medium curvy. Has to be handicap accessible. 28 doses said he think the men is. I think the men are telling you the honest to God truth. They saying that they would prefer to have the flatbacks. They say they would rather have a woman that is 115, 120 flatback, 110, between 110 and 120 flatback. And ladies, you're seeing the sentiment of men, right? There's some guys that say that they would prefer to have them curvy. And the women need to understand that it's a difference between the women that you would bust down versus the women that you would want having your children or being with you for the rest of your life. A lot of times when these women are big, when they have children, they blow the fuck up and they never come back down, right? And they can't stop eating or whatever. They never really get it off. They not out here looking like Nicole Murphy. So let's be clear. Yeah, man. It's a lot of people that's saying that they would rather have flatbacks. It's a lot of people that say that they would rather have flatbacks than they would want them bigger and curvy. So you can't say that you don't know now. You can't say it's some guys in there that's saying that they want some curvier, bigger, and curvier women. All right, let me rephrase the question. Let me rephrase the question a little bit. Would you rather? Because I want y'all to differentiate between having a woman and busting her down and being with a woman and a woman that's gonna marry gonna have your children and be with you for the rest of your life. Would you rather have them a little bit bigger and curvier, married? You gotta marry her. This is the one you get for the rest of your life. No ifs, ands, buts, or changes. No takebacks. No takebacks. All right. No takebacks. I'm gonna be reading super chat shortly. Would you rather have them bigger and curvier, bigger and curvier, 180, 190, maybe approaching the 200 mark, depending on how tall she is? Would you rather have her bigger and curvier, because these women are bigger and curvier, or would you rather have them 110, 115, 120 and flatback? And you got to marry her. No takebacks. We're not talking about a woman that you busting down. We're talking about a woman that you would marry and you want to have your kids. 180, 190, but she's super curvy, or 115 flatback. What would you take? And you got to marry her. You got to marry her. You got to marry her. Damn, 205 max. Y'all not even leaving room for the kids. Good grief. Somebody said they changed their mind, give them the flatback. Yeah, this is the debate. This is the. We're going to talk about this on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about it because a lot of y'all are on the fence. Y'all don't know what y'all want now. Y'all don't know what y'all want now. Now y'all feeling a certain type of way. Y'all trying to figure it out because you got to marry her and you got to have kids with her. Mm. I will tell you this. I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Yes, I am live right now, and it is 12 o'clock at night. 12 o'clock at night. It's 12 a.m. 12:17 a.m. to be exact. The women over here, they are not super curvy. Um, they carry themselves well. They polite. They are awesome, but they are absolutely positively flat back. They are positively flat back. They fit. I was down in the gym yesterday, and it was a lot of women in the gym. And very rarely do you see a lot of women in the gym inside of the hotel. I seen a lot of women in the gym inside of the hotel after I got off the after I got up in the morning or whatever. So it was nighttime for y'all. They fit. They in the gym. They working out. They got good eating habits. They healthy. They don't have diabetes, and they fucking flatbacks. All right. So that's it. If you want them, then you got to take them flat over here. That's just it. And the question that I then have for myself is, are we fucking warped in our minds and that we think that being big is sexy? A woman sucking all of that shit out of her waist and getting it transferred into her ass and thighs and walking around, you would look like they don't stare at me, right? We don't get stares. Sometimes I let my wife and my daughter walk ahead of me or whatever like that, and ain't nobody staring. They just normal, right? Um, if you were big like that over here, I think that you would get some attention. Like if you got a BBL over here, they will be looking at you. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody. I'm just guessing. Um, yeah, man. Yeah. So our cultural norms, I think we gotta evolve. I think we need to change. I think we need to look at things a little bit more holistically. And the only way that you can do that is to compare yourself to other people. I know people like to say don't compare yourself, but how do you know where you at if you're not comparing yourself? If the only people that you see or the only norms that you see is within your own sphere, then I think that you're looking at it the wrong way. All right. So um, yeah, man, day two, walking around Japan, getting a little bit of insight and information, and it's different. It is absolutely different. It is awesome, but it's different. All right.